It must be nice living in a world where ignorance is bliss and that everything you do is always going to be correct and it's never your fault. If you are Phil Brunel, you will always have this mentality and nothing ever seems to bite you in the ass. Even if it's karma, karma will always come to find him one way or another. Take for example yesterday when he was just doing another chill and meaningful positive podcast / stream, and someone had to call him out with the podcast thanks to Boogie kind of giving away information on the Side Scrollers podcast. Although that caught wind of Keemstar, and Keemstar retaliated on Twitter with that glorious tweet. And that just gave us a glorious fest of Phil trying to damage control but doing it piss poor. But now he is back again, saying that this is the final time he'll talk about it, and it's gonna be a doozy. So strap in, grab some refreshments of your choice, and just buckle the fuck up. Big ups to Aquatil for this, and I do agree, he won't. Keemstar will forever live in his head, rent-free.
Let's talk about the topic. Let's get it out of the way, because I'd like to get to shout-outs and talk with you guys for the rest of the show.
Yeah, sure he does. But yeah, keep in mind, he doesn't want to talk about any drama anymore. He doesn't want to talk about Keemstar anymore. He doesn't want to talk about this podcast anymore. But yet, some reason, this is the quote-unquote final time he's going to talk about it.
All right? So, I'm going to get through this as fast as possible. All right?
Fast as possible. 36 minutes.
Last year, Keemstar wanted to do a show called the Lolcow Cast, which is going to be a podcast with me, Boogie, and Wings. He was going to offer us each $50,000 as a signing bonus to do the show. However, I never even entered a conversation with the man about it because he was unable to contact me at the times that I told him to contact me. He was also not willing to discuss it via DM or email.
But here's the thing with that though, Phil. You claimed that you didn't know about the $50,000. But now, all of a sudden, you did. You love to flip-flop around with your stories, Phil. God. You make people like fucking, what was her name again? Oh, the creator of Twilight? Stephanie Meyer? Yeah, you're making her blush right now.
So it literally never happened. In reality, I'm not interested in working with Keemstar. I don't like the guy. I don't like his work, the work he's put out. I don't like his morality. I don't like anything about him. I don't want to enter a business relationship with him, period.
Pod is definitely eating out the kettle right now because, goddamn, your moral compass is a fucking roulette wheel. You claim that you have the moral high ground, but yet it's not the high ground. You're on the low ground and you're bitching and whining down at level 1.
So, after those discussions basically never happened, a lot of drama happened where he was saying a bunch of shit about me and stuff. And it wasn't true, you know. Basically, I just kind of tried to stay away from it. Now, in the meantime, I had some discussions behind the scenes with guys like Boogie and Wings about maybe doing our own things.
No, the shit that Keemstar was saying, sure, he paraphrased it and he was over-exaggerating, but he was correct. You constantly beg for money from your fans every single time, and you're down at level 1, which sparked you to change the pre-stream podcast to the level 1 podcast.
Hey, what's stopping us from doing this show with each other? Like Boogie and Wings, me and Boogie had a couple conversations where it was like, well, he wanted to interview me. I said, I'd be willing to do an interview with you, and then maybe I could interview you back, and we could have shared content or whatever. Like, that was some of the discussions that we had.
Well, then again, here's how it would work. No one would be interviewed by you because look at Boogie's subscriber count to yours. Boogie has a higher advantage because he has more subscribers. Plus, he's been around the block a lot longer than you have, and has experienced a lot more shit than you have. Meanwhile, you only have about 200k subs, and you haven't been around the block. You've been having everything handed to you left and fucking right, but now you're suffering from the poor man disease, where it's like you have to have money, but you're poor. You think that you're poor, but in reality you're not, and yet you still beg people for money every single time.
Okay? But it never really amounted to anything.
Let's get right into the news.
You know, one of the things I worked on, as you know, this year is DSP React. I was thinking that could be good content for the channel. They have an interview with him as something to have on that channel or whatever, you know.
But it wouldn't have worked out, though. You would use him for clout and you use him for views. So it wouldn't have worked out in your favor anyway.
You know what I mean? So basically, the whole thing's been off the table. And there really hasn't been much discussion about it. And then all of a sudden, during my interview with the Side Scrollers, Keemstar shows up out of nowhere and interjects himself into the situation. Literally, he had nothing to do with the interview. Like, that interview was supposed to be about me and the shit that my haters say about me. What is Keemstar doing here?
Well, here's the thing with that, though, Phil. Adam and Craig got information that you were supposed to be a part of this podcast Keemstar's relevance to that interview is pretty much valid. He was the one that orchestrated it. He was the one that was trying to help you, Boogie and Wings, with the money. And Pirate is actually correct. They needed the money, and you fucked them out of that opportunity to make said money. Keemstar's involvement with that interview was good because essentially they got more insight of what was going on, trying to get you a part of that podcast. But in reality, it never worked out due to the fact that you're very stubborn, prideful, and knowing full well if you took the money and begged still, people would ask you about the money, but you'd get pissed off and ban them. That's the reason why. Also, Keemstar being in that interview helped out a lot because it showed how big of a pussy you really are. I don't want to talk to Keemstar. Here's Keemstar. Voice quivering, looking like a dog that just peed on the carpet, afraid about getting punishment. That was you throughout that interview when Keemstar showed up.
Like, literally, what is going on? It didn't make any sense at all, right? It was just confusing. What is he doing here? Come to find out, apparently he's had a bug up his ass about me ever since I didn't want to do this show with him. And we had to talk about it or whatever. Right? And at that point, I pretty much made it abundantly clear I want absolutely nothing to do with this man.
We understand you don't want anything to do with Keemstar. We get it. He lives in your head rent fucking free. And you still want to bring him up as a negative, toxic personality. While you're sitting there all high and mighty, chill and positive, you do nothing wrong, live in this mentality that you're just all perfect, you do nothing wrong, it's everyone else's fault but your own.
All right, I pretty much tried to make it as transparent as possible. I don't like you. I don't want anything to do with your content. It's my prerogative if I do work or not with you, period. Okay?
Yeah, we get it, okay?
That was that. Like, that's the end of it. Now, in the meantime, he continues to show up on my streams. He continues to tweet about me. I want nothing to do with this guy. I'm just ignoring him at this point. I'm done with him. I have no more interaction with Keem. I'm done.
Really? He brought up things with you on Twitter and in your fucking chat? You banned him from your chat because you didn't want people to see him. Also, he didn't really talk about you much on Twitter because he's out doing a lot of shit behind the scenes for his stuff. But he brought you up because you were talking shit about Keemstar. He caught wind of it, and then he made more tweets about you. You see how life works and how the internet works?
In the meantime that all that's happening, okay, I get contacted behind the scenes by a third party saying that they're representing Boogie and Wings and that they're interested in doing this podcast with me, all right, and it would be just the three of us working on it. And essentially it would be like a three-way split where we all do a show and work together and yada, yada, yada.
I have a theory about who that third party would be. It would be someone that was working with Keemstar, because Keemstar pays people to bring people in, employees essentially, and he paid that person to try to bring you, Wings, and Boogie into it while Keemstar had the higher position. He was still the producer, he just got someone else to do his work for him. I get it, you don't like it, he's not moral for it, but you have to make business decisions like that to get things rolling. But then, as soon as word got out to Keemstar that you were talking shit about him, that's when immediately that's not going to work anymore. So that third party might not contact you anymore because of it. It's just a theory, but
no details are worked out because in the meantime, Boogie and Wings are doing this fight, this boxing match for Keemstar. It's Keemstar's event, and they're taking a payday to do it. I think they're getting like $10,000 each or something like that to do it. And essentially, we can't talk details about the show until they get back from their fight. All right, I confirmed with Boogie and Wings, yes, this was legit. They said, yes, this person is legit. This is someone who we're already working with, and we want to do this all together. Okay.
Yeah, the reason why they're doing the fight is because you fucked them out of money. Keemstar offered another way. Boogie and Wings start a fight. They get $10,000 starting off on it, and probably any royalties from the fight, because people will watch it, they'll get a cut of it. I mean, it's pretty much working out in their favor, while meanwhile, you're sitting there on stream begging for money while making about a few thousand. Give or take.
And so I said, all right, if you want to start talks about it or whatever, let's talk about it, right? I'd be willing to consider doing this, maybe trying it out, see how it works. No details have been worked out whatsoever. It was just a discussion. I had a few emails back and forth with a guy who said that he was going to kind of be in the middle of this whole thing, and that was it. And where we had left it was, well, we'll talk when they get back from their fight, okay? Now, the other discussion was that I told him outright, I'm not doing anything with any involvement with Keemstar. So if he's involved, I'm out. And also, we can't use the name the Lolcow cast, because if we do, that would actually be grounds for Keemstar to be angry and upset and maybe try to do something. because that was his idea. Technically, he's the one who came up with the idea that it was going to be a Lolcow podcast with people involved in all of that. And you can't just run with it and steal his name and all that. That's messed up. Not even just business-wise and legally, but even just, for me, I wouldn't be ethically okay with doing that.
Yet it's ethically okay with you to constantly beg people for money, ban them unless they give you money. All the shit that you've done could be considered unethical. Also, what Keemstar was doing with the Lolcow podcast, it was a tentative name. It wasn't going to stick. It was just an idea. You know, name pending. You don't really seem to get that in all of its entirety. But now it would be considered the Lolcow podcast because you're a Lolcow. Wings is a Lolcow. Boogie's a Lolcow. They've all grown to accept the fact that they're Lolcows. Even Feud Tech USA is a Lolcow. But the only one that doesn't accept it is you. Because you don't want to be taken as a joke. You want to be taken seriously. And be considered a Lolcow takes away that serious credibility from you. That's why you don't want it to be named the Lolcow podcast. I think I'm sparking some neurons here.
You're going to do your own thing. You got to do your own thing, right? So that was really the only discussions we've had. Nothing concrete. I literally never sat down with Boogie or Wings to talk about it. It was all through a third-party person that I was discussing this. And where we had left it was that, you know, it might happen. We'll see. Let's let their fight happen, and then we'll sit down and we'll talk about it. And that was it. So all of a sudden, I hear that this week, I guess Boogie did an interview with Side Scrollers. You know, I don't know anything about it. I'm not.
Yeah, the reason why you didn't know about it is because you didn't know about it until someone mentioned it to you. When in reality, you probably knew about it. And them, by Boogie and the Side Scrollers podcast, got wind that you were trying to start a podcast with Boogie and Wings. So it caught their attention. It also caught Keemstar's attention. But the problem is that you got angry due to the fact that Boogie admitted that you fucked both Wings and Boogie out of $50,000, which is good enough money for people that are financially unstable and need help. You fucked them out of it. Even though you said that you never promised them money, you fucked them out of the opportunity. That's why they kind of don't want anything to do with you, but they're going to say, yeah, I'll work with you. Just because I want a cut of some money. That's it. That is the key principle. Money. Something that you need, Wings needs, and Boogie needs. All of y'all need money, but yet you just want to delude yourself and think that you're better.
Following Boogie, nor am I caring about Side Scrollers at this point. And in the interview...
Oh yeah, you definitely don't give a shit about the Side Scrollers podcast after they demolished you in that interview.
He apparently said a couple things. Number one, he's salty that I cost him $50,000, him and Wings. I did not cost him and Wings $50,000.
I'm going to repeat myself. You cost them the opportunity to make said money. So yes, you did.
The idea was made up by Keemstar, literally never spoke with me about it or checked with me to see if I was even willing to do it or interested in doing it because I've decided I don't want to work with the guy. I didn't cost them money. Keemstar cost them money by coming up with an idea that needed my involvement, and when I decided not to do it, he canceled the idea. I mean, I outright have said, why don't you just do the show with them? Why do I need to be involved? If I don't want to be involved, do the show with them and pay them the money you said you were going to pay them.
The reason why you were involved is because out of all the Lolcows in the fucking universe, you, Wings, and Boogie are considered the top 3. Sure, you have Review Tech USA, you have Low Tier God, and you have many fucking others, but the ones that stand out the most are you 3, Wings, Boogie, and yourself. So that's why they were wanting your involvement. And if you would have answered the goddamn phone, you would have had the opportunity to make money, and they would have had the opportunity. But you refused to do it because Keemstar didn't listen to my instructions. He didn't want to tell me in DMs, and where.
So, I don't get it. Why am I the crux of this show? Why did it matter if I was there or not? If I don't want to do it, just still do it with them. And these guys obviously need the help or else they wouldn't be so upset about the $50K payday they're missing out on.
So do you. You need the money. Every fucking time you get on stream, you constantly ask for money. You ask for tips. You ask for super chats, memberships. You constantly force that upon your viewers. So you trying to deflect saying that Wings and Boogie need it more than me. They needed the money. So do you. That's the reason why Keemstar came to you, because he knows that you 3 were suffering from money and needed financial help. Keemstar was willing to do it. You refused it. You know, bing, bang, boom, cat in the cradle with a silver spoon.
So just pay them, right? Now, you know, that's pretty much my opinion on the whole thing.
Also, here's another thing. Yeah, isn't RTU taking Phil's spot now? Yeah, as soon as Keemstar booted him out, they're looking for a third. Everyone said Review Tech USA. Honestly, that would be the better pick, due to the fact that Rich actually revels in the fact that he's a Lolcow, and he doesn't give a shit. He uses that to his advantage. That's the difference between you and Rich.
But, you know, Boogie goes on this interview and he's mad that I cost him $50K. And then he says, well, yeah, so we are talking with Darkside Phil or whatever about doing a show. So he lets wind of it. He's the one who talks about it publicly, not me. If you didn't notice, I haven't said a word about this. It's been going on for a few weeks. I haven't mentioned it. Why didn't I mention it? Because nothing's happened. There's been no concrete discussions, no contract signed, no even details discussed. It's just, we're going to talk about it after the fight.
The reason why Boogie talked about it on the Side Scores podcast is because they asked him the question about the Lolcow podcast. So Boogie brought that up. That's the reason why. But you still think that this is not your fault somehow?
So last night, I'm streaming Oblivion. And people keep bringing up, what Boogie said, what Boogie said, what Boogie said. I said, all right, enough of this. Let me just address what Boogie said. And I literally just said to you what I just said right now. I said last night on my Oblivion stream. All right.
No, you didn't. You actually were more toxic about it than you are right now. But then again, you're still toxic back in that video and in this one. But also, the difference is that that was on an unrecorded stream, Phil. So nobody saw it, except for the ones that caught your stream.
Right? Way less people on the Oblivion streams, like 200 people there as opposed to the 450 that are here today. Okay? And I'm like, so that's what happened. So all of a sudden people are like, Keem just tweeted about you. He says he's kicking you off the Lolcow cast, and now they're looking for a third host to join Boogie and Wings.
You know that he has no intelligent thought to think about, and he thinks he's trying to be funny by adding that crappy 90s aesthetic, like, close-up. Phil, we fucking get it. You're unoriginal. Move on.
You're kicking me off the show that I'm not on.
Technically, you were still a part of it, because they probably wanted to bring you in and actually work out another deal with you. Because, you know, you're very hard to persuade.
That's an interesting concept. I've actually never heard that one before. That you can actually get fired when you don't work for someone. Then again, it's happened before. If you remember, I was fired from Twitter when Elon Musk bought it. And I never worked for them, but nevertheless, I was publicly fired.
Yeah, and guess what? That was pretty fucking hilarious, Phil. Oh, how will your son Hornton survive that his daddy got fired from Twitter?
I mean, even news outlets covered it, remember? So maybe this is a running pattern with me now, that I can actually get fired from things I'm not a part of.
You were technically still a part of it. Just saying.
Anyway, so kind of interesting, because people are now...
Thank you. Hornton's still suffering to this day.
coming to my stream to tell me that you're fired from the Lolcow cast. I'm not on the Lolcow cast. I never wanted to be. Like, what are you talking about, right? If you want to talk about delusion and being egotistical, someone who actually thinks that because they wanted me on their show, that I was on it, even though we never even had the discussion about being on it, and I never wanted to be on it, that I was on it and now they can fire me. You're insane. Like, you're literally insane. Anyone will tell you, you're nuts. That's fucking crazy. I was never part of your team. I was never employed by you. You can't kick me off of anything I'm not in. All right? You're nuts.
Yeah, I was going to stop it, but I was going to let it play out more because he was essentially implying that this person was mentally ill. But let's continue with that, shall we? You were still a part of it. They were still going to put you in the works with it. They were going to give you a second chance. But you fucked the pooch with that one, Phil. And guess the fuck what? They're going to make more money than you. And whoever they bring in will take that $50,000 and be rolling with it.
So, that tweet goes out, all right? So now, of course, my whole stream is derailed last night because all anyone wants to talk about is the Boogie thing and the Keem thing. So last night, I put out a video after my stream ended, and it was about a 15-minute video, essentially covering what I just covered very, in a nutshell, even more quickly. Today I covered it. And I'm like, so I really don't know what's going on. This is what's happening from my perspective. I'm supposed to be contacted by these guys after their fight to see if they're interested in doing the podcast or not. Again, no specifics have been discussed or anything. It's just an idea, right? There's a third party involved who apparently is going to be the one to wrangle it and arrange it and have all this going. And that's that. You know, so I don't know what Keem's talking about. It seems to be like nuts or something. I don't know.
Now at this point, since due to the fact that you were kicked out of that podcast and due to the fact that Boogie and Wings are still going to be a part of it, what Keem was going to do is offer them a little bit more, giving them a better deal, meaning that whatever plans that you had with them is gone. And now you can't use them to make money. Also, the whole thing about the damage control video, about your perspective on the matter, all that was just, like I said, damage control. You were trying to use that to boost views because drama is attracted to you and you want to attract drama, but you want to stand on this moral high ground, or excuse me, the step ladder that all of a sudden it's like, I don't do any of this. I don't do drama content, but yet you're posting out drama content. Don't you just see the irony in all this?
And I get up this morning and I get bombarded with shit, okay? So here's what I get bombarded with. All right.
Oh, please tell. You always get bombarded with shit. Well, granted, you have to take a hate shit. So, please, what were you bombarded with, Philip?
So, many things have happened.
Here we go, God damn it.
In the last 12 hours. By the way, just so you know, last night when I made that video, I did try to contact Boogie and Wings and the third party. All of them I tried to reach out to say, hey, what's going on with this? Because I don't know. You know, I've heard nothing yet. We got Boogie going on a podcast saying he's salty about 50K. And you've got Keem making these tweets out of nowhere. I don't know what the hell he's talking about. You know, I'm just curious what's going on. All I want to know is what's going on. And here's the thing. I don't care either way, right?
For someone that says that they want to know what's going on, you immediately go, oh, I don't care. Then why are you asking them what's going on then? If you clearly don't give a shit, why are you asking them? Why are you asking Boogie, Wings, and that third party? Contradictions are wild with you, dude.
Right? Am I interested in doing a podcast with the guys? I think it would be all right and fun to have a conversation, and maybe it would be something fun. At the same time, I don't see why on earth this is a big deal. I'm super busy with my own shit. I'm not desperately looking for a crossover event. You know what I mean?
Well, here's the thing with that, though, Phil. You sitting on your ass playing video games for 6 days a week is not really productive, but yet you claim that it is. Also, I believe that you, Wings, and Boogie would not cooperate and work together because you have no chemistry. When Wings was watching you react to that documentary, he immediately was like, why am I watching this? Why am I part of this? You could tell in his tone of voice and that he was bored watching you because you just go off the rails with shit that wasn't even relevant because you wanted to make it all about yourself. That's the reason why Wings didn't want anything to do with you. He was like, okay, I'm just going to tune out. This is boring me. He made more money off that stream, restreaming your content more than you did on that video. So that's a big piece of irony. Also, Boogie, he's doing his own thing and probably doesn't really want anything to do with you. Just saying.
I've already got so much going on DSP Gaming and DSP Reacts. This was just a nice idea to throw out there. You know what I'm saying? So, there you go. You know, so it's not a big deal to me. In fact, I'll be honest with you guys. If these guys are going to make 50K and they desperately need the money, and it means working with Keem and they're okay with working with Keem, then more power to them. In fact, that's what I've already said. Did I not literally just say, why can't they do the show with Keem and not me and still make the money?
Yeah, but you're saying it's not a big deal, yet you're reacting to this. So it is a big deal to you. For someone that says that this is not a big deal and that you don't care about it, you're showing that you care about this shit and you're throwing a big shit fest about it.
I didn't understand that. Like, why am I the linchpin, the crux of this show that has to be part of it? Just do the show without me and still give them the money if they need it. That would make more sense, wouldn't it? I would rather have that. I'd rather have the show go on without
That's jump change to Phil pretty much.
Without me than have a show that never happens, and now these guys were hard up for money and they can get it, and now they're feeling bad about it and they're angry at me for it. Like,
so are you. You're really hard on for money. Anytime you get a big fucking donation, which you ended up getting from this, you immediately feel happy about it. Like, oh, you got like a second wind. Like someone just slapped you on the ass and said, good game, soldier. That's essentially what it was. You are so obsessed with money that your own greed is clouding your judgment. And when people try to help you, you immediately boot them out.
Like, what the hell, man? Like, why am I somehow getting... Again, you understand? Number one, I wasn't involved in a podcast at all. I wasn't involved in the Keemstar podcast. I never was. But
I know, this is like maybe the third, fourth, fifth time that you mentioned this.
I get pulled into the drama, even though I have nothing to do with it.
Attraction to drama. That's all this is. It's drama attraction. You cause this drama, but yet you don't want to do drama. But drama is attracted to you, and you try to make money off of it.
I'm not involved in a podcast with Wings and Boogie. I never was. It's early discussions. Nothing determined, no contract, nothing. Yet somehow Boogie goes on someone else's show, talks about it. Now I'm pulled into the drama again.
Yeah, because they brought you up with it. They mentioned the Lolcow podcast, and Boogie brought you into it.
You see how stupid this shit is? Do you understand why I don't want to be involved with other people? Do you get it? Like, this is why. Every fucking time that this happens, they pull me into their fucking nonsense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we know what you're saying. You're still throwing a big shit show about it. And that you say you don't care, but you do care. I'm sounding like a broken record at this point, but it's more fun to explain to you that you're still obsessed over it. And yeah, you got pulled into the drama, but yet you relished in the drama. And yet you're making videos and still talking about it. You get what I'm saying?
I hate it. I don't want to be involved with these people. If possible, I would like to make my own content for my own audience and continue to grow and evolve and make curated content for those who like it. I don't need to cross over into the realm of YouTube relevancy and become a known Lolcow who now has viral popularity and makes money for making fun of himself. I don't care about this.
Yes, you do. That's why you thought the Side-Scroller's interview was going to save you. You thought you could sucker in more people, more customers to your quote-unquote business, but it backfired on you. Instead, people turned on you. Your idol Stuttering Craig doesn't like you as much anymore. Adam doesn't like you. Adam didn't even like you. Blabs especially didn't like you. And her stare when you put on that Nazi hat really signified that you're a piece of shit.
At all. Really. I've never actually actively sought it out once. These people come to me with their drama bullshit, and somehow then I have to, like, I'm literally wasting time right now on my own show talking about it because people won't shut the fuck up about it.
You know what you could have done, Phil, to save you a lot of time? You could have just been like, I know about this, I don't want to talk about it, let's move on. Sure, you're going to have a lot of people that will give you shit for it, but it's just a chip on the shoulder. Brush it the fuck off. But you want to keep that chip on your shoulder, and you want it to irritate you. And you don't care about anything else. You want that thing to stick into your shoulder. You want to create splinters. You want it to hurt more and more and more to the point where you have to talk about it, and all it does is create irritation. That's all it does.
All right? So that's why I'm doing this, so I can put it to bed and say I'm done with this shit. Okay?
Yeah, but once you put it to bed, it's going to be like a child not wanting to sleep, acting restless.
So, last night I did reach out to Wings and Boogie. I did reach out to this neutral third party.
This is the second time you mentioned this, but please continue with this new developing story that you have, like, brewing in your head.
It has now been 14 hours and no one's responded. So,
well, yeah, because they dropped you like a rock after that, and Keemstar offered them a better deal. That's why you're not involved.
So, being that's the fact, I'm going to just assume that the things that I've heard are real. And what I heard is that basically, after me talking about this on my show last night, Keem had a change of heart and decides he wants to still do the Lolcast, but now he doesn't know what to do because he needs a third host. He doesn't feel that it's strong enough with just Wings and Boogie. So he started posting up and he's asking people on the internet, who do they want to see to be the third host of the show?
Yeah, which is a smart move. Why keep someone that will probably wear the show down and not bring a lot of attention rather than going out and finding another person to take your place? Honestly, what Keemstar is doing, as scummy as he may be, he actually is pulling a smart business move, which you failed to see. You know, the guy with a fucking business degree that went to school to learn business.
Okay? Good for them. Good. Let them do a show without me. That's called the Lolcow cast because I'm not a fucking Lolcow.
Yes, you are, Phil. Also, I can tell in your fucking voice that you're jealous of this. You're jealous that they're making more money than you, and there's nothing that you can do to stop that. But also, how are you not a lolcow? I really want to know.
Just because idiotic, mouth-drooling idiots on the internet termed that and made up a bunch of bullshit conspiracies and nonsense about me doesn't mean it's true. I don't care about what the fuck they're saying. I'm not going to be a part of your fucking toxic nonsense.
Yes, you do care. If you didn't care, you wouldn't have sent people to flag down detractor content. If you didn't care, you wouldn't take down other people's content on your own volition. You wouldn't ask Machinima to take down content when they were still around. You wouldn't be constantly talking about detractors, Rich, Keemstar. You wouldn't be talking about drama if you weren't obsessed with it. And that's what this is. It's an obsession. But you still want to say that it's not. And you want to believe that. This delusion of grandeur that you're a better man than you think that you are. Let's also keep in mind that all the shit that you've done within your 15-year legacy, it is shown that you are toxic. And the shit that you've done is considered a lolcow trait. You have lolcow behavior.
I make meaningful content for a group.
You don't make meaningful content. And it's for a group of people that you thought were your fan base that's dwindled down to barely anything. And yet you're trying to bring in more people with your pignosis. And as soon as that brought to light that you're a toxic asshole, they dip out. They tune out and they find someone else to watch.
I don't want to hear your bullshit. Really, I'm not going to be a part of your toxic shit.
Yet you're the one that's spewing toxic bullshit. You are toxic every single time, hiding behind the mask that it's chill and positive. You're not chill and positive. You're still going to be toxic. And I'm still surprised to this day that people will still support you and give you money, even though you don't deserve any of it. You take all the money that you're given for granted, and you do nothing to improve your life. You've done nothing to improve your content. Oh, that shit in the background, those 2 pictures of like Ninja Gaiden and Mario, the Pac-Man lamp, those 2 figures that you probably bought at a dollar store or somewhere, and the ring light that you got from the Dutch brothers, that's not helping you. All it is just bringing more light to a toxic man. That's all that you are. It exposed more of how haggard and disgusting you can truly be.
I refuse. So have your Lolcow cast. Have people who want to self-degrade themselves for personal profit be on your show. I know one of them. His name is Rich from ReviewTech USA.
Hey, I didn't think that you would talk about him, but then again, I knew you would talk about him. Yeah. Rich is also living in your head rent-free. We get it. You have a hate boner for Rich. Kiss and make up.
Look into him because he sucks cucumbers and kisses cocks all day long. And he basically just continues to do toxic things that hurt other people, you know, like Keemstar, for personal gain.
How so? How does he hurt people for personal gain? All the shit that Keemstar and Rich have done in the past, they've owned up to it. You don't own up to the shit that you've done in the past. You don't have any form of sincerity when it comes to your apologies. They're all insincere. I love the fact that you keep going back to him kissing cocks and sucking on cucumbers, even though Rich tells people why he did it. It was a joke. All of it is a joke. And yes, Rich does revel in the fact that he's a lolcow, and he doesn't care because he knows that that's how he can make money from it. Nothing scummy from it, but you want to say that he's toxic. Oh, him going after Quantum TV, that's toxic? I really want to know your logic behind all this shit.
So maybe he'd be your prime fucking candidate for the show. I think he would fit right in with what you're trying to do if that's what the show really is about, which it seems like that's what it is.
Hey, Keemstar, you hear that? Phil gave you the proper, seal of approval that ReviewTech USA should be your third host. I kind of want him to be the third host. He would be better and more chemistry.
All right? So go for it. And by the way, leave me out. I want nothing to do with it.
Yeah, but even though you want to be left out of it, you'll still talk about it. Obsessed with it. Like the tumor in the back of your head. It will never go away.
All right? So if this is the case, and if Keem has essentially talked to Boogie and Wings behind the scenes and convinced them, oh, I want to do the show again. I'm going to pay you $50K again. Good.
At this point, they're probably going to get more money, not $50K. Yes, you just essentially fucked yourself, dude.
I couldn't be happier. I'm happy for them. Let them get the money they need and do the show they wanted to do that I'm not interested in.
If you're so happy about it, why is your tone of voice angry? Why is it that it just seethes with jealousy? That whole aura that's around you, it's filled with jealousy and negativity. You don't want them to be happy. You don't want anyone to be happy. If you don't benefit from it, no one else should be happy. But if you benefit from it, oh, maybe they deserve to be happy, but I'm going to call the shots. That's how you're acting right now. If Phil ain't happy, ain't nobody happy.
I'm not interested in the Lolcow cast. Our show, if we had done a show together, would have been very different than that. It would have been productive. It would have been positive. It would have been fun. It would have been intelligent. So
intelligent. Coming from you, the guy that goat laughs at videos during his React channel. The guy that offers no intelligent conversation at all unless food is discussed. You have nothing intelligent to add to it. No substance. You would have no chemistry with these people. You would talk about a video game with them, and they probably have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. Same thing with Wings and Boogie. They would talk about shit that you have no idea about, and you want to move the fuck along. And what will happen is that if this worked out, the third party, it all went through, you, Wings and Boogie, had a podcast. Chances are, they would walk out before you did.
So, good for them. Let them do their shit. I don't care. And I'm done with it now. Because that's like I said, if 14 hours have passed and these guys aren't responding, obviously it means it's probably true. I guess someone had said that Boogie actually did retweet Wings. That Boogie retweeted Keem when Keem tweeted and said that I'm out of the show. I was never on the show. Can't be out of the show. So, sounds to me, I hate to say it.
Yeah, thank you, Maximus. Why don't you shut up about it then?
That Boogie and Wings, sadly, may be in a position where they literally just have to be involved with Keem forever. They're doing this fight. They're going to do a show, you know. I don't want to be roped into the drama and the nonsense. I want nothing to do with it. And
yeah, Keemstar is going to be involved with them because they're offering something that you cannot offer. Money. You don't have the money to pay them. You don't have the financial gains to keep it afloat. You would have nothing to add. Keemstar will provide the financials while give them full creative control while he essentially is telling them to wrap it up, like what most producers do.
I'm really now done with this shit. You know, I'm not going to be putting up with it anymore. I'm not going to let people get wrapped up in it, my own viewers and shit. It's so stupid. What on earth does this have to do with the content I'm doing right now? Nothing. I didn't want to be involved with it, ever. It wasn't my idea to be on a podcast with them. Like, I don't care about this. Really, I don't. I'm tired of people fucking coming and derailing my shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm done.
If you had no involvement with it, then why did you take Keem on his offer? Why did you DM him on Twitter? That's something that you will never answer because, oh, Keemstar's a terrible person. Phil, why don't you explain why you did it? But you won't. You want to keep things a mystery. I'm saying that in big air quotes on mystery because you don't care about the suffering of others. You don't care about anything else. You just care about your pride.
The sad fact is, I hate to say it, we all kind of know where it's going. We all know it's not going to work out.
At this point in the video, Phil goes into territory talking about how Keemstar potentially ruined someone else's career because they were part of Keemstar's show, which Phil had no evidence to back this up, but also kept going on and on about how can you work with somebody like that even though he has no evidence. Also, he kept saying that he was done for like maybe the 7th, 8th time. He's getting really repetitive at this point.
I'm not going to be involved with it anymore. All right? So it's sad because it sounds like maybe the idea of me doing a podcast with Boogie or Wings or something like that would have worked and would have been a fun show. But they chose to go with the realm of money. It sounds like. I mean, they haven't responded to me, so it sounds like they want to go for the payday rather than having self-respect.
Well, the reason why they're going to go with money is because it's pretty decent money. $50,000 is decent money if you are financially unstable, if you don't have enough money to support you and your family. It is very good money. That's the reason why they took it, because Keemstar offered them financial opportunity. Self-respect when it comes to money, people will do whatever it takes to make money. They will go to great lengths to earn that paper. But you will never seem to understand that because you don't know what it's like to struggle. But yet you say that you do, when in reality, you don't. And that is a scary thought for you, that you have to struggle to make money, that you have to go out and actually get a job just to try to make ends meet. That is what scares you.
That's their choice. They could do that. Take the payday over self-respect. Go for it. And enjoy the money. And I hope that the show does well. And I hope that they, whatever. I really do sincerely hope they do have a good business relationship with Keemstar. They don't get screwed over. But I'm not going to put myself...
Thank you, Pirate. It's called compromise. Exactly. That is exactly what it is. They're making a compromise. And it might work out for them in their favor. Who knows?
...into that risk whatsoever. All right? I'm just... It's not worth it.
I wanted to make the crunchy water joke.
So, as of this moment, this is official. I'm making this official right now on my show. In all of my content. I would never want to speak about Keemstar ever again. I'm serious about that.
Yeah, but you're probably going to bring him up sometime later in the future. Just calling it now.
Ever again. If I choose to do it, then that's okay. But I don't want people bringing this nonsense up ever again. I don't care what he tweets. I don't care what he says. I don't give two fucks. The guy doesn't exist anymore. All right? To me, he's gone back to his fucking hollow tree to make his fucking fudge stripe cookies for the rest of his life. He hammered in the wood. He's stuck in there and his fucking with the rest of his Keebler elves. And I don't want to deal with the guy ever again. All right? I'm done. I'm officially have no desire to speak with it about him or to him. I have no business relationship with him. It's over.
Yeah, you're expecting people to get a laugh out of that Keebler elf joke because Keemstar looks like a gnome. I get what you're trying to do, but you're not funny, dude. Just saying.
The children need their fucking cookies. So let him make his cookies, and I'll be here making my own content on my own little island for my own curated content for my own viewers, and I'm done.
Yeah, why don't you make that money so that you can buy your wife some fucking cookies then?
All right? Enough. I don't want people coming to my fucking Oblivion streams or any of my other streams saying, he said this, he said that, he said this. I don't care. I have nothing to do with the man. Period. All right? Done. Completely done with this person. Now, Boogie and Wings. It's sad what seems like going on. I don't know. I don't know what's really going on. All right?
You don't know what's going on, but yet you feel the need to talk about it.
I don't care either. It wasn't a big deal. This was their idea. They contacted me through a third party to get this going, not me contacting them.
Didn't you say a third party contacted you? Not Wings and Boogie? You can't keep your story straight at all.
They contacted me to do it. So it was their idea. If they're going a different direction, good for them. I still don't care. I'm still not involved.
Yeah, exactly. Someone said that too. Someone merely mentioned to you about Boogie, and then you just went off about Keemstar. Jesus Christ, man. All these people talked to you about Boogie. Really? It was barely anybody.
So I think you're starting to see the point I'm making here. Let's see. I don't care.
Yes, you do.
I don't care.
Yes, you do.
I don't care.
Yes, you do. Quit lying to yourself. You fucking do care.
Stop bothering me.
Stop bothering me. I'm a victim.
And if I see people continue to bring it up, you will be moderated.
Hang on. I'm going to go back. Why would Boogie and Wings, who are money-driven, contact you? Well, to try to get them involved, maybe? Who knows? Also, that fucking head wiggle. Stop it.
And if I see people continue to bring it up, you will be moderated and removed from my content because I don't want to talk about it anymore. I'm done with it. There's no point to bringing this shit up. It literally does not affect me. It has nothing to do with me. I have a full agenda. I have all these games I'm playing this month. We have a special event coming up this month. Are you kidding me? June is going to be ultra packed with content with the new releases coming out. I literally have nothing whatsoever going on.
What's that? I think it's the sound of no one caring.
And Naysayer just said something interesting. He says, at least this all came out now, not later after you got the whole thing rolling. Correct. This is kind of...
What thing? What thing did he have rolling? Nothing. Phil has nothing rolling. DSP Reacts, one of the worst things he's ever fucking done this year. The Side Scrollers podcast backfired on him immensely. All this content that he's trying to make, it's not going to help him in the slightest. Sure, he'll reach 4K views with some of the videos that he has for new releases, but they'll just dwindle down to barely anything. I'm just saying, Phil, you're not very good at keeping things rolling and keeping it rolling.
Kind of best case scenario. It really is. Because what if we had already started actually seriously talking, right? What if we had actually started negotiations, and there was, all this going on. And then
Technically, you kind of did get things rolling and things negotiating because you were in the planning phase. Even though it's not quote-unquote negotiations in your head, it's still a form of negotiation when you're trying to plan shit ahead of time.
Then all of a sudden, there was a last-minute change because Keem comes in and offers them money or whatever. That would have been different. That would have been awful, right?
Yeah, it's only awful because Keemstar is involved.
So you're actually right, naysayer. The fact that this all happened now is better for everyone involved than me.
Oh, God. If he actually invited that person into a podcast, it would not turn out good. Oh, man. Man, someone will be thoroughly tickled.
Wasting time and then coming out the loser at the end. All right? Please understand that. So, there you go. I'm done with all this. I don't want to hear any more about it. I never want to hear about Keem ever again. I'm serious about that. If you ever bring him up, that's it. You're out. And, yeah, moving forward, you're not going to hear me address it. All right?
You hear that? If you talk anything about Keemstar, Boogie, Wings, or the podcast, you're immediately out. You're out of the cult. Bye.
I would be shocked if I even hear back from these two. Being honest, I would actually now be shocked if I ever hear back from Boogie or Wings. Because if they did sign a contract with Keem for $50K now, which probably was a rushed thing they did overnight, to try to lock them out of doing anything with me, I doubt that they're even going to speak to me ever again.
How many times are you going to say you're done? He said you're done more times than I can count on my fingers.
I would be very surprised if I
Also, all I can taste is salt.
heard back from them on anything, all right? But at this point, again, I heard back from them
hang on.
on anything,
Yep, that person immediately got banned.
all right? But at this point,
Ban anybody that talks about Keemstar.
again, I want nothing to do with these people. So please stop, all right? Just stop with the nonsense. I'm moving on with my own stuff, all right? And I hope.
Yeah, but that's the thing, though. It's still going to affect you because if you see it, you're going to get a rise out of. And if they're trying to troll you with it, congrats. You fell for it. Hook, line, and sinker.
You understand? And I hope that, now we can move forward positively and not focus on the bullshit, right?
I had to skip a little bit of this because one of his members called out one of the moderators that was in the chat, saying that he's a Wings detractor or Wings mod. It was one of the two. But Phil just sat there going, oh, that guy's fine, leave him alone, essentially giving him the Derek treatment. But in that moment, he started going off about how people can enjoy whatever the fuck they want, is that we have the choice of humanity, when he meant free will, and said that anyone can enjoy content whenever they want. However, it's very fucking hypocritical due to the fact that if you enjoy any of his detractors' content, you're immediately a bad person and you should be exiled from the cult.
I'll be honest with you. If this is true when they do a show, I hope the show does well. I actually hope that this podcast does really well for them, that they make a ton of money, and that they maybe can get on their feet financially and they don't have to be in dire straits with this kind of stuff for the rest of their life. I sincerely wish them success.
No, you don't. You just went on how long is this? Almost a 24-minute fucking tirade about how they chose money over self-respect, they're fucking pathetic pieces of shit, and now you try to show sincerity with them, hoping that the show works out for them. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to be brutally honest. Get fucked. I sincerely mean that, because all you care about is if it benefits you, all is good. But it's not benefiting you, they deserve nothing. So get fucked.
I think they deserve it. I think they've been beaten down, they've been mistreated by the internet, and they deserve success. So
yeah, and I've been beaten down by the internet too. Where's my 50,000?
I hope that they have it. Okay? And that's my final take on the subject. No sour grapes.
Yeah, no sour grapes. Yet all 24 minutes of that was just filled with sour grapes. Goddamn, you ordered a truck full of them and it's coming right to your house right now. Oh God, the long experience that I had to ordeal listening to that man constantly bring up Keemstar, constantly saying that he's done with the drama, the Lolcow podcast, as well as Keemstar himself. Yet, we all know the truth about Phil here. He will never let it go. It'll still carry on into his life. Like I mentioned, a tumor in the back of his head that will have Keemstar's beard, Boogie and Wings' overweightness. Review Tech USA sucking on a cucumber will always dance around in his head. He will never change. He will always be a lolcow, even though if he will deny the fact that he is one, he'll still be a lolcow in the pasture of lolcows. And my god, this is going to be a bitch to edit, but I do not care. I do it because I appreciate every one of you that actually sticks out to watch this. Something that Phil would never, ever do in the existence of his 15-year legacy.